Good morning. I'm Christian Peter Mostu. I'll be talking about anchor handling and mooring procedures. What are the important points to remember during mooring operations on ships? Our anchor handling tug supply (AHTS) vessels are mainly built to handle anchors for oil rigs, tow them to location and use them to secure the rigs in place. Anchor handling tug supplies vessels sometimes also serve as emergency response and rescue vessels and as supply transports. Many of these vessels are designed to meet the harsh condition of the North Sea and can undertake supply duties there between land bases and drilling sites. They also provide towing assistance during tanker loading, deepwater anchor handling, and towing of threatening objects. AHTS vessels differ from platform supply vessels in being fitted with winches for towing and anchor handling, having an open stern to allow the decking of anchors, and having more power to increase the bollard pull. The machinery is specifically designed for anchor handling operations. This also have arrangement for quick anchor release, which is operable from the bridge or the other normally manned location in direct communication with the bridge. Our anchor handling involves a number of special marine operations. The high tensions experienced in chains and wires may cause high heeling moments and may cause high transverse and or astern movements of the anchor handling vessel. The vessel's motion through the water may also be affected by high hauling speed of the anchor hauling handling winch, or as a result of any loss of bollard pull, the vessel may be pulled astern at speed by the tension in a heavy anchor arrangement. Any simultaneous loss of thrust for any reason on the vessel may lead to a rotation which would lead to considerable extra transverse forces. Environmental conditions will also influence the operations. For these reasons, the vessel's stability needs to be closely monitored. Operations on deck involves other hazards of which all personnel should be aware. Familiarity with the contents of this manual is essential to all personnel involved in the anchor handling operations. Teamwork is essential. Now let's go to the mooring aspects of what are the important points in mooring operations. Mooring is a procedure to anchor the ship to a fixed or floating element and keep it connected during loading or unloading operations. Safe mooring must withstand several forces such as wind, the current, the tide, and waves. We are going to review the most common kinds of mooring, what they consist of, and when it is advisable to use them, each one. Ship-to-ship transfer. Ship-to-ship transfer means mooring two ships in parallel to transfer cargo during this operation. One of the ships may be anchored or both of them in movement. The procedure consists of an anchored or stopped ship being approached by another at the most reduced angle possible. During the approach, the maneuvering ship comes close, seeking a parallel course, reducing the distance until the fenders are in contact. Single point or single buoy mooring. This mooring method consists of a floating dock or buoy outside the port to handle liquid or gaseous cargo from ships like oil vessels. It is used in ports that do not have specific facilities for this sort of large ship. The ship is tied to a buoy with the aid of one or two chains, which are secured on board at the end of the prow. This mooring operation requires favorable weather with low waves and wind. Conventional or multi-buoy mooring. With this mooring method, the ship's prow is secured with its two anchors. While the poop is secured to the buoy, the berthing position is approached at a 90-degree angle. The starboard anchor is released at a determined location as the ship moves forward. When the ship stops, the port side anchor is released, thereby positioning the poop along the central line bifurcating the buoys. Baltic mooring. When there is a strong wind at the port and a boat must be moored without tugboats to a dock not resistant to impact, Baltic mooring is used. The captain or the pilot use the ship's anchor and onboard cables to reduce this impact. mooring the ship such that it is berthed lengthwise to the dock. Mediterranean mooring. This consists of mooring the boat in perpendicular to the dock with the poop surface parallel the jetty. This procedure is used when there is insufficient dock space to moor the boat. It is also used when there is a ramp on the poop connecting the hold. For example, a car carrier. Anchor mooring. Lastly, ships sometimes use the anchor along with the mooring lines to drag the vessel outside the jetty while anchoring or de-anchoring, thus helping control the speed of lateral movement toward the dock. Of note, in this modality a running mooring, which provides greater control over the ship, and standard mooring, used during crosswinds and which takes longer. Now we will go to the important points to remember during mooring operations. 1. Don't allow any extra crew member on the deck. Ensure that no extra personnel are present at the mooring station except those who are involved in the operation. Anyone who is not assisting the mooring operation must be asked to leave the mooring stations for his and other safety. Next, consider weather condition. Before planning the mooring operation, consider the weather condition by taking factors such as wind and current. The ship's master and responsible officer must have the details of current and future weather data before commencing the mooring operation. Next, have knowledge of snapback zone and rope bite. All personnel involved with the mooring operations should be aware of the snapback zones and rope bite. Next, check all the mooring equipment. Check all the equipment, mooring winch, drums, windlass, etc. involved in the mooring operations. For any kind of problem, proper routine maintenance is the key to ensure smooth running mooring equipment and systems. Do not forget to check the load sensors of mooring winches. Next, check the tail of mooring line. If the mooring wire is provided with tail, short lengths of synthetic fiber rope which are replaced in series with the vessel's winch mounted wires to decrease mooring line stiffness and thus to reduce peak loads and fatigue due to vessel's motion. Ensure same size and material of tails are used for the lines in the same service. Breast spring and headlines. Different tail size and material would lead to uneven load in the mooring line. Next, tend one line at a time. Only one line should be tended at a time during mooring operation. If this is not done, it may increase the load in the other tended lines. If two lines are tended together, it may lead to overloading the breakage. Follow the orders of the master or responsible ship officer properly to avoid any kind of mishap. Next, keep a check on the mooring line load. Ensure that the allowable breaking load in any of the mooring lines does not increase 55% of its maximum breaking load. This is to prevent the line from breaking. Next, avoid mixed mooring. Mixed mooring is extremely dangerous. Generally, mooring lines are of the same size and material should be used for all leads. If this is not possible due to the available equipment, all lines in the same service, breast lines, spring lines, head lines, and stern lines should be of the same size and material. The use of mixed mooring lines comprisingly full-length synthetic ropes and used in conjunction with wire should be avoided. If a synthetic rope and wire are used in the same service, the wire will carry almost the entire load while the synthetic ropes carry practically none. Next, keep a continuous check load on monitoring lines must be checked continuously even they are after the mooring operation is over. If there is any change in the ship's ballast condition, the lines must be slacked or tightened accordingly. The condition of the rope material should be checked and foresee unfortunate accidents. And lastly, arrange mooring lines symmetrical. All mooring line must be arranged as symmetrical as possible with the breast line. The breast line should be perpendicular to the longitudinal center line of the ship and spring line should be parallel to the longitudinal center line. That's all and have a good day.